Okay, I just want to talk about Bloodhound Fang setup once again. Here's me, a little bit more decks than last time, running through Stormveil Castle. Good drop on a torch pole, but I want to talk about some of the benefits that the Bloodhound Fang has in terms of kit building, and then the problems that it might have as well. I also just want to do some base commentary and just show how infrequent I'm actually using Bloodhound's finesse. Because that jumping heavy, that stuff is, that's really good. Jumping heavy is nice, running R2 is nice, standing R1s are good too. All these things are very spicy. The damage is really nice. The poise damage is nice, the staggering's good. The speed is nice, but the range combined with the speed and the poise damage is quite nice. It is a nice combo. Because now we can just start spacing dudes out like it's nothing. See how that swing just destroyed all of those explosive barrels except for one? Like it was nothing? Yeah, that range is deceiving. And man, that animation on the jumping heavy or falling heavy attack is just really nice. But I do want to talk about kit building for a moment. Kit building is something that's present in pretty much every RPG, action RPG or otherwise. You don't normally just want to have one single setup, and at the same time, the amount of stuff that you have equipped for one setup, that's going to vary as well. And so having all these things for different situations, and then having a variety of stuff that combines a single setup, that is very good. That is kit building. The more variety you have up to a certain point, the better. And Bloodhound Fang keeps things relatively simple, because big poise damage wise, you can just stick right with the Bloodhound's Fang. It has good enough proactive tools where you are chilling with all of this stance damage, speed, what have you. Even if you can't do a very solid R2 chain most of the time without getting thwacked, you can still dominate. Getting a jumping heavy into a Bloodhound's finesse, well, that's very spicy. Look at that. We got some knockdown. We can follow up with the charge heavy. It's just amazing. Not like super OP or anything. No, not as good as people will say. Once again, we are not like two-shotting bosses or what have you. It is not at the upper echelon of the game. But when you're looking at the game through a rather limited, restricted perspective where we don't want to two-shot every boss, now this weapon has a great use on this dex-focused quality build. And so kit building for stance damage, well, we can just stick with this and then maybe this Zweihander. And boom, that whole section of kit building is done. We don't have to worry about stance damage at all. Our big weapons, we got them sorted. We get a lightning Zwei, and then this thing here, or maybe a keen Zwei. We infuse that keen and then buff it with something else. We're chilling. Speaking of buffs, this is a great part of the kit building process that Bloodhound's Fang really benefits from. Well, every build is going to benefit from a little talisman so that you can drop something nice like Flame Grant Me Strength. Even on mage builds, because of Spell Sword. Getting those magic or cold infusions, well, now you're doing physical damage. And the stamina regen from Flame Grant Me Strength still benefits you regardless. The way that it stacks with, at least physical damage stacks with Golden Veil, it's going to be fantastic. And the int builds with restrictions are going to be making good use of things like Gelmir's Fury, which, well, that's fire damage that gets buffed by Flame Grant Me Strength. Being able to have Bloodhound's Fang with Blood Flame Blade is just fantastic as well, but we can also slap Electrify Armament on. Good thing both of those, Flame Grant Me Strength and Electrify Armament cost 15 faith to use, or require 15 faith to use. So now we're chilling with another part of our kit sorted out. Got a finger seal just for that. Make good use of it. It's very light. If you wanted stuff just for the simple buffs, you could go Dragon Communion Seal to have things be even lighter. And I do have a Pocket Dragon Communion Seal just for that. I think I soared it during this Stormveil Castle run, and I really shouldn't have. Here's another jumping heavy into Bloodhound's Finesse. Just smooth as you like. Again, just like last episode, being able to take that jumping heavy and then go straight into Bloodhound's Finesse to not only deal damage, but also return to neutral is fantastic. Yeah. Bloodhound's Fang in neutral. You want to use anything but the Finesse, usually just a standing R2 or a jumping heavy as an approach option. But escaping neutral, Bloodhound's Finesse all day. Very, very nice. The stance damage is very good too. I mean, 44 total for the both the hits, 22 each. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's just very, very good. Basically the equivalent of a couple of charged attacks on a variety of weapons. Just fantastic. And so you'd be able to set up with that secondary attack a nice stance break if you can have rough intuit calculations going on in your noggin. It's like, okay, well, if I land 2 more charged heavy attacks on this boss normally and it'll stagger, then I can go out and Bloodhound's Finesse and stagger it on the approaching hit, which is much better so that I can take the grab. Very, very spicy. But yeah, these jumping attacks. Jumping light attack there, just so that I can continue to move on afterwards. It's got a faster recovery. There is a problem with Bloodhound's Fang kit building, which is sometimes, I think I had mentioned this last video, you'd really want to have some sort of a ranged option for certain times when you just want to act as soon as you're out of that first animation of the Bloodhound's Finesse, that first attack. And we don't really have that. Not as much. Because the distance that it takes you makes it a problem for perfumes, which would be the action of choice. And so uplifting aromatic seems to be the thing. It's like, oh, Bloodhound's Finesse away. If you just want to stay at range, then you can uplifting aromatic in your pouch and just have that buff there, which is excellent. Check out this bird kill. Oh, love killing that bird like that. Best experience killing birds by far. I love that. Although we have bird killing moments that rival that in the future. That jumping heavy, man. That jumping heavy. So yeah, you would think pulley crossbow would be nice. You would think spark aromatic would be good. And spark aromatic is not as good. You have to situate yourself at an angle to reduce your backwards movement. And once you do that, then you can follow up with the spark aromatic if you want to stay relatively close. Still not as spicy as potentially dropping 3 bleed bolts with pulley crossbow. But here's the thing. Because of the secondary bolt option in crossbows, you just can't use your Ash of War, Bloodhound's Finesse. So the combo just doesn't work at all. I tried this out. I grinded out a soldier's crossbow just early on, just to get my muscle memory going, because I can still drop a singular bleed bolt or use it to take aggro or something, and oh boy, no. It did not work at all. It's just complete failure. It just doesn't function that way. Can't use Bloodhound's Finesse into a crossbow bolt unless you make a quick swap and then do that with your offhand. Even then, at that point, I'd rather not. I'd rather focus on aromatics and buffing myself back up, or equip swapping out to a talisman and getting your, talisman, yeah, and then getting your, or a seal, Dragon Communion Seal or what have you, getting Bloodflame Blade back up if that's gone, or, yeah. That seems like it's going to be much better. And the fact that Spark Aromatic in general does take Dex scaling to a big amount, I think it's A scaling. So being able to use Bloodhound's Fang and sort of compensate for some of the lack in burrito damage. I guess you could do... What's interesting is a single charge or two if you break stance. Throw out a single spark aromatic, and then take the grab. At which point, you could probably get a charge R2. Look at that, secondary charge R2. Not very good, but I didn't charge it that much, so that it would have less recovery frames there. That was great, love that. But yeah, let's talk burritos again. Burritos, I mean, if you're not into the term since Bloodborne came out, burrito is the bonus damage that you can get on certain bosses and enemies that are stance broken before you can take the grab. And in Elden Ring, there's really high potential for that. So, you're looking at Bloodhound's Fang, you can't really effectively get a second charge or two. You go for a first one, and then the next option is Spark Aromatic, at which point you can probably take the grab, and then follow up, you can get another charge or two into a Bloodhound's Finesse. And now we're styling. You know, now you can decide whether to rebuff or follow up with the second part of Bloodhound's Finesse, which is, I mean, just super cool. Like, I definitely want to get this Bloodhound's perfume setup going. Like, that sounds so satisfying. Make the most out of my pouch and whatnot. Oh, it just sounds so fun. But the other parts of the kit, very simple. Just a large club for any blunt damage. That's fine. Just real easy blunt damage. There's going to be enemies where you need it. So, perfectly fine. The poise. 51 poise again, just coming in clutch on the armor. Being able to Bloodhound's Finesse, tank the hit. I'm trying to aggro this guy so that he runs at me. Here we go, jumping heavy, Bloodhound's Finesse, he's done. Very simple. I don't want to go down to that rocky area down below, just below the bridge that I was just on. There's the arbalest there, and I didn't want the arbalest, I wanted the pulley crossbow, and now that I know what's going on, I don't even know if I want the pulley crossbow. Maybe for alternate setups that I have. So, Ice Rind Hatchet is still going to be nice that I have. Zwei is still going to be nice. Twin Blade, eventually Godskin Peeler is still going to be fantastic. Many setups, many bosses, enemies, what have you. You might want to go Twin Night Swords instead of Godskin Peeler. But the vast majority of the time it's just Godskin Peeler all day, so even though there might be some more range and such, absolutely going for the Godskin Peeler for the moveset. Alright, we're back at it. I want to showcase the whole entirety of Stormveil here. I was trying to think, like, what else do I want in terms of kit? I have Twin Blade for DPS options. I've got my Ice Rind Hatchet for mix. Spyhander and Bloodhound's Fang kind of has me covered in certain regards. Of course, looking at other somber options, Scorpion Stinger looks pretty cute. I know PvP wise, you can absolutely go like Bloodhound's Fang with an offhand Scorpion Stinger, and that's pretty solid. Especially in duels. Get yourself some drawstring rot grease, dupe it or what have you. And that's good. But PVE, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have anything properly in my offhand kit-wise, and I'll just use perfumes and such. I think that'll be ideal. I don't think I'm going to go for a secondary curved sword. That doesn't seem to be very good. Bloodhound's Fang already is just dominating as it is. And because of that, having something bonus there, that's just going to make my armor not as good and make my plays less reliable because I don't have the poise. It's just not very interesting. The dual-wielded curved sword moveset is, or curved greatsword moveset is just not very spicy anyway. It ain't a Power Stance Twin Blade or Curve Sword, I'll tell you that. Which, both of those setups I have disallowed for myself on future runs. They get so strong, so effortlessly easily that it's just... It's not worth it, personally. It's just, the fun is not there. If you're looking for an objective, top quality setup, then yeah, those are the ones to go for. Especially when you buff stack to Oblivion. Yeah, you just shit on every single boss going some sort of a bleed style. Seppuku bleed, what have you. And not only that, you throw on Godskin Peeler, and now you're starting to decimate progression as well. Simple buff routine, let's go for it. I think, yeah, I decide not to do the whole thing. Yeah, because I don't have that much FP after taking out X, Y, and Z knights with Bloodhound finesse. Look at the chunking. Again, I just don't care about the chip damage. Misspaced that, which is unfortunate, but I have the right idea because of just how long this thing is in general. The classic just walk back to avoid some of those attacks. And again, the misspace on the follow-up on the Bloodhound's finesse. Still didn't matter because Golden Vow plus decent defenses and poise, I just shit on his life. So, slightly scuffed spacing, but that mentality of just go out and get the attacks to Bloodhound's Fang as long as hell, and you'll probably hit, is a good one. Specific spacing getting into your brain as just a habit, being intuitive, is going to happen over time. I'm still way too new with this weapon to be particularly intuitively amazing at it. It'll happen eventually. Grab into charge R2. If he would have survived, I would have been able to get a strong Bloodhound's finesse to return to neutral. There's an interesting case for one of the offhand options, and your talisman option to be the Clawmark Seal. Because in this build I'm going for 36 strength, and there's going to be 15 faith. And that's not going to be too good on its own. But being able to cast the Stone of Garank and basically get same old Bloodhound's finesse damage on the backswing just because of how Ash of War damage works and skill damage works. It all goes off one-handed damage. So same damage there, and then being able to throw a stone right after for additional stance damage seems like it's pretty good. That might be a thing there. Again, it's raw stance damage. I'm not worried about the damage that much, but if I'm going to be doing that, I might as well squeeze as much damage I can out of it. So we go Clawmark Seal. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, because well, it's a range attack. Like, the boss could be spamming out whatever, and it doesn't matter. Unless it's some sort of projectile or something, but if there's like a rapid set of attacks, being able to go Bloodhound's finesse back, throw a stone, break the boss's stance, run up, get a jumping heavy attack, and then take the grab might be pretty fantastic. I think I'll do that. I think that'll be my offhand swap. I'll just go from Turtle Shield to Clawmark Seal there. You see that situation right back there? Killing those guys. Super smooth. That R2, again, the amazing reach of the Bloodhound's Fang. Fantastic, truly. I did follow up with the secondary R2, even though it's not the greatest. I just wanted to save on some FP, but honestly, suboptimal play. I should have just gone for it. So, I'm pretty sure that's it kit-wise. Just 3 different seals. All of your perfumes. I use a serpent bow for ranged strategies. That's not bad, right? Being able to have a bow option, that's pretty good. Eventually I'll just be going great bow, and that'll be fine. But for now, just dealing with birds. That's pretty solid. Of course, I realized later on in this video that making use of the range of the Bloodhound's Fang and just jump attacking the birds anyway is devastatingly good and efficient regardless. And at which point, like a bow or crossbow would just be for taking aggro, which I can do with consumables regardless. And so I'm just like, oh no, you know, I'm investing in all of these things, but for what, right? Painful, kind of painful. Oh well. That's fine. Yeah. Consumables being a part of kit building for this is super interesting though. Like I never really took too much mind into them other than very specific instances. So being able to just have uplifting and spark aromatics just on demand is going to be really cool. Like that's balancing out the perfume bottles with those and actually making use of these perfume bottles is going to be so much fun. Oh man. And yeah, you see me, once I get the Iron Wet Blade, get everything sorted out with that Zwei. Lion's Claw Zwei. This is when I start sorting things, when some of the things I really shouldn't have sorted out. Misericord definitely deserves to be sorted. Goodbye. Crescent Moon Axe, yep. See ya. Come on. Yeah, Brickhammer, Torch Pole, 100%. Hook Claws I have because it's very interesting to be able to have double the effectiveness of bleed from Blood Flame Blade on a single weapon with a single cast. That's pretty spicy, so we'll see how things go. Serpent Bow Mighty Shot here. I just want to collect the 2 items on the rooftop, not too far from here, so using my FP I don't mind. Just send them out. Absolutely dominant. Good old Zwei there. I made a mistake with the Zwei. Upgrading that instead of upgrading the Twin Blade as my initial smithing weapon. Yeah, Twin Blade should be the initial smithing weapon. And Zweihander should be Zweihander should be the secondary option. Because I'm already dealing all sorts of stance damage with big beefy fella known as the Bloodhound's Fang, of course. This is an interesting setup, and another aspect of kit building that might be particularly good with Bloodhound's Fang is a shield. Maybe even a great shield in the future. I don't know. But having a no skill shield so that I can just block and then maybe use Bloodhound's Fang right after that, I mean, things might be pretty interesting. And if you're bringing a Bloodhound's Fang type quality build to the DLC, I definitely recommend having some sort of shield to turtle up behind. Be able to get your Bloodhound finesses out pretty easily. Even then, I feel like it's terribly situational just because the Bloodhound's finesse already has such good iframes. There are really only certain aspects and certain enemies that have very specific moves that I would think your Bloodhound's finesse wouldn't work too much for. Even then, like, will the shields cover it? I don't know. So, I have the shield here just for the Ice Rain Hatchet. Being able to get your guard counters in. I realize I'm just, sometimes the Warhawk Talons are just getting around me. So because of that, shield, I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe not in this scenario. I'm so used to not running shield in Elden Ring at this point. When I used to be a turtley bastard in Dark Souls 3, up until a certain point. I can definitely run no turtle setups, like two-handed curved sword in Dark Souls 3, or just, of course, everybody's PVE favorite god tier option, Soul Sword Twin Blades. I have to do a Dark Strength run where I go grab Wing Knight Twin Axes early, but that involves killing the Dancer early. Oh boy, I don't even know. Maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. Sometime. I'm waiting for DS3 to go on sale. It's still $60 on Steam, and I own it on my PS4, so, you know, I want to be able to listen to music and stuff, and just listen to a podcast or something, and then record videos like this where I can do post-commentary and just have all of that enjoyment. But for a game I already have and have about 1,000 hours in, spending $60, no. I can wait. I can wait till it goes on sale. I have it wishlisted. Changing the setup once again. Getting all of the talisman HP regen from that blessed dew. Gotta get my shield back. I gotta say, it's kinda painful running Bloodhound's Fang with the Bloodhound's Finesse being able to deal so much damage one-handed, and then you want some sort of proactive option, and the best option you have is like Claw Mark Seal. It's like no, it's like the weapon is screaming at you to cast spells in your offhand. And it's like, well, it's a quality weapon. I don't have the stats for these things, you know? There's no quality catalyst for me to just use. That sucks. It's really unfortunate. It puts me in a quandary where now we're back at perfumes, or we're just throwing out Stone of Garrock just for stance damage. It's like, oh god. I guess Beast Claw could also do the same thing, fully charged, but again, the circumstances where we would want to do that versus follow up with the Bloodhound's Finesse secondary is so limited, as it is for the Stone of Garrock. So limited. It's still there, but limited still. Thing. And then also like the FP use that would have. It definitely feels like they tried to overbalance this thing. You know, we can just let weapons be monsters in the eyes of casuals, and it's okay. Here's me going for the secondary, so many things. I went for the secondary R2 into the secondary of the Bloodhound's Finesse. I got punished for both, but that's just because I was dealing way more damage than I expected, and he went into phase 2 fast. Even then, just being able to stomp a Crucible Knight like it's nothing, it's pretty satisfying. Not as satisfying as getting your own top quality combo in, but still got destroyed, and that's all good. As much as I'm enjoying Bloodhound's Fang in this whole run, I gotta say, Ruin's Greatsword, I just love Ruin's Greatsword more. It's just proactive. You got more damage, more stance damage. You're knocking enemies down. That's the proactive control aspect. Stance damage on bosses from range is what the second part of Bloodhound's Finesse wishes it was. And then, potentially, if things are fixed or we get a different type of catalyst in the DLC. Then we're just casting at range as well. So we have all of these options, not to mention that strength int, or even strength with a little bit of int, has just so much variety in setups. There's so much going on. And that will just be turned to a new level once we have scaling fix and or a proper strength int catalyst. And so I look at this and I'm like, oh man, this is cool right now, but it's not the same. It's fun testing though. Coming to these odd conclusions. Figuring out that perfume is actually really good on this setup. Just having this added benefit of, hey, I can just play simple and just dominate even so. These custom burritos of single charge R2 into Spark Aromatic, take the grab, get another charge R2, and then Bloodhound's finesse away. And then uplifting Aromatic after that, potentially. That's pretty fucking disgusting. And I mean that in like a good way. Like, that's nasty stuff. Oh. I do want to at least have a clip of me doing something like that. So, expect that in episode 3. But, will that day come? Probably. I do expect, like, Dragon's Great Claw to be fixed up in the DLC. Because the DLC will introduce a lot of patching that is been missing for the past 10 months. Just straight up on day 1 on DLC launch. So we've got to expect greatness incoming. And that's just going to be fantastic. I just want strike damage on that Dragon's Great Claw. Oh, well, the Azure Ward being Endure is kind of terrible too. Stormcaller would be pretty nasty on it. I don't even know. I don't want it to be the really slow lightning moves that the Draconic Tree Sentinels have. I don't necessarily want that. I also don't really want the Thunderstorm that he casts from the shield either, because that's pretty basic. Something else unique, I want that. Maybe they'll fix that, maybe they'll fix a bunch of things. I really hope they do, because that weapon, the Dragon Great Claw, that is a somber option that I will be having on this character. Deals solid damage, and after 1.10, well, we got some good buffs. The critical hit buff, again, not only does that help Bloodhound's Fang, but it helps all Colossals. The vast reduction, look at that damage, dog. The vast reduction of aim punch, look at the damage. Phenomenal damage. My easiest Lion Guardian kill. But yeah, the reduction of aim punch and the buff of critical hits, combined with all the colossal buffs of previous patches. That's why, Ruin's Greatsword is my second favorite weapon now. And Strength with a little bit of int is my favorite build now. But also, it just helps out Bloodhound's Fang. And every single colossal weapon too. So yeah. Being able to make use of Dragon's Great Claw as just a lightning colossal weapon of choice. Pretty spicy. I'll have to mess around with that. And it should be around the same time as I finally get some of the perfumes going too. Up in Altus, being able to have all of that perfume bottle and perfume ingredients just kind of right there for the taking is absolutely phenomenal. It's free real estate. I mean, The Perfumer ruins. It's short but sweet. One of my favorite ruins in the game, not only for the aesthetic up in Altus, but it's such a smooth experience. Taking out your Omen Killer, Miranda, Perfumer. I love it. I love that group. What a combo. Same thing in the Perfumer's Grotto. What a smooth dungeon. I love that shit. Look at the way this guy falls down. Whee! It's like they have half fall speed. It's very funny. Coming up is a really good display of why Bloodhound's Fang's range plus damage is just so convenient. The way that I just go about this area, taking out all these exiles, is fantastically smooth. Done before they're even an issue. Spacing out, timing, avoiding all these guys, jumping light to move out quicker. It's just not a problem. All these running attacks, running lights, of course, that's all you really need to take them out. These guys are kind of attached to their little flamethrowers, so they can't just detach under normal circumstances and come after you. Is it immersive breaking? Yeah, it sure is. I wish they just came at you. That would have been more interesting. I guess every weird enemy AI thing, aside from input reading, could be described as, oh, they're losing their mind because they can't die because of the Rune of Death is sealed, I guess. I suppose. I don't know. It's kind of cheap. It doesn't feel good. It's a very artificial way of forcefully covering for design flaws. This whole section is great. The whole run-up, the whole gauntlet. It's a very fun time. I can only imagine the amount of people that just went through the main gate and missed most of Stormveil. Stormveil is such a fantastic place where if you don't know what you're doing, you can miss half or more of it. But it truly has not only some incredible moments and little sections, but also just fantastic mini bosses, loot, what have you. Oh, tried to get him there. There we go. Stance damage, staggering, just raw damage. Get him with the regular R1 chain. Yeah, there are only very specific Omen attacks that give them enough hyper armor to not get staggered with each hit. And so being able to put them in hit stun is actually very easy. So much so that I should have gone for a jumping light attack instead of a jumping heavy, just so that I could combo them more. That's definitely going to be the way forward with Omens. Jumping light, R1 chain, take them out. Now here's something interesting. This is when I realize, hang on, I can just kind of do a jumping heavy and kill these guys without much of an issue. So I swap back from my shield to the turtle, and I just kind of bait him out, come over here, and then lock on, and just the incredible tracking of the jumping heavy. Yeah, just one-shot him, just like before. Once I know that I can one-shot him with one jumping attack, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. The range and tracking just helps me out, because those birds can move all around you and really mess up the camera. That doesn't matter if they're just gonna die in one hit, does it? Trying to see if a bird's following me or not. Nope. Try to get him out of the air, but could only get him on the second time. That's fine. Slightly bad spacing error. Still works out. I'll get it eventually. A lot of people draw on Nepheli with that headpiece as her hair, which is interesting. I thought it at least took the frame of her hair, but that's not true. She has like very poofy hair. You'd never tell because you don't think that there's enough force keeping her hair together, but I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably the third Exile armor that I've gotten so far, and it's just really not what I'm going for. The weight to armor ratio on the Exile stuff is really nice, like really, really nice, but the poise is rather limiting on it, so I want to stick with that poise weight and physical defenses ratio. Just so that I can have 51 poise, and my physical defense should be fantastic otherwise. Went for the secondary charged R2 there, just to get myself some nice additional bleed, and that worked out. Also, my positioning for a Bloodhound's Fang Bloodhound's Finesse wouldn't have put me near his head. It would have moved me backwards the other way. So. Charge R2. I need to charge R2 it was. Couldn't get the grab, which is terribly unfortunate, but again, bleeding him out. It's fine regardless. Totally not ideal for non-grab taking damage, but it worked for him. I believe it's like 30k or so for me to level up right now. Very close. I'm contemplating whether or not I want to resummon the giant or something, but no, I go on. Stormcaller is a fantastic Ash Ward, especially on the quality build. It scales off of both strength and dex, so that's one of your few reasons to run a quality setup. One of those rare instances where I know that an enemy is not going to really act after getting hit with the jumping heavy. The warrior jars, they just kind of take it, so feel free to spam R1s after the jumping heavy. Takes them out just fine. I love this little platforming area. Platforming in Elden Ring is very janky, but this is pretty fun. Being able to find these little secret bonus areas like this really makes you wonder how the hell they got here in the first place. What was the design philosophy? R1 smack, because I scuffed getting my charged R2 positioning. I tried to hit both of them, and then I could have followed up with a finesse, but no, didn't happen. The enemies die easily enough, however. So much of this area is destroyed that really makes you think, like, what was it supposed to look like? I kind of want to see that. I wonder if certain clay modelers or something have an idea. Not necessarily for like making a giant model of the entire castle, but maybe just specific rooms, and then like the a small model of the castle on the outside, and then, you know, not to scale models of other things. Well, I guess nothing would be to scale. What am I saying? But I think you know what I mean. I would love to see what people would imagine these areas of the castle would function like in their prime. And other areas of Elden Ring too. That would be cool. Like the Nameless City in deeper depths. That would be nice. More decks. I don't know why I popped these. Oh, now I do. What am I upgrading? I think it's Zwei. Do I get my Zwei plus 8? Do I have enough 3s for that? I don't think so. What am I thinking? I'm upgrading something. No. I thought. Oh well. Yeah, I think I'd missee. Yeah, I have 4 4s, but not 4 3s. Yeah. Yep. Might as well upgrade this other stuff, though. With my 2s. Contemplating. Too many shields in my inventory. So many crappy wooden shields in Elden Ring, guys. What the hell's up with that? Makes you want to, like, be able to restore them some way. I don't know. I think that would be a cool idea. Restoration or upgrades or something cool. But the current way of upgrading them just doesn't do them justice. This time I get my shields out of there. I love to keep a clean inventory. Too clean for my own good. Rickety shield with carry and retaliation, like I mentioned in the first episode, might be pretty good. That might be the offhand option for good old Bloodhound's Fang, but then again, I wouldn't be able to use finesse. So, difficult choice. Might be better off paired with the Zwei. Get your lightning slash and then bust out the shield. Anti-bird and anti-bat technology is always good on any build. Part of kit building. Serpent bow is temporary, and I upgraded this to +4, and maybe I shouldn't have, because if I had the Golem great bow or just any sort of great bow instead, it might be a little bit better. Of course, getting into these tricky situations, taking aggro and maybe taking out enemies at range when you're on the same area and the enemies can actually get to you would be better with a fast bow, but the damage is still quite limited. And being able to take aggro with consumables, like I mentioned prior, might be just the way forward. Particularly for this build. How many consumables we're already going down the path of. The amount of value that I get in a run out of the Blessed New Talisman is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, damage beyond damage is reduced to nothing with that. Probably enough damage to kill me in certain dungeons. Just gone. Several flasks worth saved, like it's nothing. Truly fantastic. What a whiff. And then a hit. Revenge for the earlier rats in the cellar. I wish this spell was a little bit better. Unfortunately not. It would just be any sort of spell that you could throw on, let's see, an int build, no matter where you're going, because you'd want the 15 faith for flame grant me strength anyway. So being able to cast that as well would be so spicy, but it's just not. It just doesn't end up that good. Oh boy, the hitbox of these guys are so janky. But again, you see my chunking? You see the golden vow reduced damage, it just does not matter. Complete and utter domination, jumping heavies, single charged R2. Filthy. Not even a Bloodhound's finesse in there. I don't think I even got a bleed. No, I didn't get enough hits in for that. It's so weird you have to watch that bloodstain thing for that to work. Godric time. Sometimes I make the mistake of climbing that whole entire ladder when I don't have to. It's so silly of me. It's like, cool ladder. Ooh, where does it take me? It's fucking nowhere. A loop around to something that I've already got. Cool game. Like, not even a cool loop, too. It's like, wow, back like way before I would have ever come here. Fantastic. Godric time. This one's satisfying. Dodges attack with the natural body position after the jumping heavy. Get another jumping heavy. Single charge R2. Get the bleed with Blood Flame Blade. Just some R1, so let's build up that damage in Blood Flame. Get that bleed going. And here I just decide to style on him. Not even locked on. Cool guys don't look at bosses dying. Or I guess my character is looking right at him technically. Beautiful moment. Thank you so much for watching. And see you guys some other time. Bye.